I've seen a lot of videos about the features of Procreate 5 on the internet, but I don't think anybody is talking about the coolest feature of Procreate 5, and that is making a brush like this turn into a brush like this. I made this in few minutes, and this is super awesome, and it's only possible in Procreate 5, and I'm going to show you right away how you can do it when Procreate 5 arrives, so you don't have to buy new brushes or download anything. You can do this stuff on your own and have really awesome organic looking brushes for any type of painting you want to do. What I recommend you do first when you start making your own brush is select the round brush and slide it to the left and duplicate it. Round brush is a perfect blank canvas for creating a brush because it doesn't have any unique features of its own. Go back into the canvas and then select a black brush. This can be any brush, but in Procreate 5 I recommend using the exclusive category because they have a lot of very textured brushes in here. The point of this is not to make a painting, just a texture that looks very interesting to your own eyes. Try to make patterns that don't repeat easily, that you can see that those patterns, if they are repeating, that they can be identified as the same shape. I'm pretty happy with the way that this is looking, and we are going to use this as the grain of the brush. Once you have your texture done, go to the wrench icon, hit share, and then JPEG. And I'm going to press copy. I'm not going to save this into my gallery. I'm going to go back into the brush that I created, and you can see that this is the copy because it has that small icon on the top right corner. I'm going to click this, and then in the new Procreate 5 brush settings menu, I'm going to go into the grain tab. And from here, I'm going to add a grain to this brush. And I'm going to do that by clicking this small edit button here. And I'm going to import it from that copied texture that I copied earlier to the memory of iPad. And I do it by hitting import and then paste. And this is pasting that texture into a square shape. But this isn't a repeating pattern, it ends on the edges. But Procreate 5 has this new feature called auto repeat. And when I hit that, you get to this view where you see the texture repeating endlessly. And here you can set the scale of the grain, and you can rotate it if you want to, but for this I want to keep it in the original orientation. And here on the bottom left corner, you can set border overlap. And this means that when the texture ends, it's going to overlap with the repeating pattern on the other end, so you don't get this like mechanical looking grid out of it. And you can also mirror that overlap if you want to, but for this, I think it looks better when it's turned off. So I'm gonna have a bit bigger overlap, and then I'm going to mask the hardness of the overlap. And this means how hard the overlap is fading into the original picture underneath. I would recommend just like fiddling around with this slider until you see something that looks consistent with the texture that you created earlier. I kind of like the way that this is looking. Then there is this pyramid blending, but before Procreate 5 manual comes out, I honestly won't be able to say what that even means, but I just think that this texture looks better with that turned off for now. When you want to save this texture, hit done, and this will save the texture as a new grain. Now we have the grain for the brush, but it still is not visible enough, so I'm gonna increase the scale until I see it enough of it. I'm gonna add more brush strokes in this preview window so I have more different types and shapes of brush strokes. It's important to always do these like smaller taps as well as long and fast strokes so that you can see all kinds of like scenarios where these settings will affect your brush strokes because they will change in real time. So I'm going to change the scale again and see that here is a part where it's kind of like having the maximal impact on the brush visibility of that texture. Movement also adds texture in a different way, and this is relative to how you drew the brushstroke itself. So you see that it has this organic texture to it, and this looks like a very organic brushstroke already. I kind of like the way that looks. I'm gonna adjust the scale once more, just to be on the safe side that I have the exact settings for this brush that I want. I think that looks pretty cool, and I could use this as my own brush for painting. Here I'm gonna hit save. And now it has been saved. There's just one more thing that I want to add to this brush, because I don't like this round shape that I started with. So I'm gonna create my own shape for the brush. Now that I'm confident that it doesn't have those smooth edges anymore, I'm creating this square on my canvas. And here you want to make sure that you have the edges of your canvas completely black, because those will register as a brushstroke in the brush preview. And now I'm going to repeat the same method as I did for the grain of this brush. So wrench icon, share, JPEG, and then only copy from here. And now I have it in the memory of the iPad. Now I'm gonna go back into the brush settings by hitting the brush again. By the way, at this point, you might want to go into about this brush and name your brush. I'm gonna call this Mikko's Messy Brush. I think that's descriptive. And then you can write your own name here. This is not part of my name, but I just thought that since I have the ability to draw, why not? Now we're gonna go back into shape. And this is the original shape of this brush. It's just a round edge brush. And here you can see that it has completely black edges and a white dot in the middle. So we're gonna go into this menu and hit import and paste. And this will import the image from earlier as a brush shape. And then I'm going to press done. Now the brush has this square shape, and I'm just super excited about the way that this is looking already. I mean, I'm gonna do 5 strokes with different pressure. Can you see how they all look very different? By the way, if you want to clear this drawing pad menu, you can go to here and just press this clear drawing pad icon. And that gives you more room to make test marks. There's just one more setting that I want to add. And if you have seen this video I made about how to make brushes for digital painting, I really like to have a little bit of control over the size. So I'm gonna go into Apple Pencil tab, and then here in the size category, I'm gonna adjust the size for pressure to not 100%, but something around 40. Yeah, I think this looks like something that I could use for multiple things. And I like the way that the shape is rotating with the stroke of the brush, because that feels very natural to me. So I'm gonna keep that setting as well. And now let's do the same test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this. I mean, I'm really excited about this brush. I'm gonna save this. And now I have a new brush called Mikko's Messy Brush. Let's look at it. Wow. Okay, that's a normal stroke. This is a light stroke. This is a hard stroke. And I'm gonna have a stroke. And smaller dots. And even these look different. Okay, so that's how you create a brush in Procreate 5, and you can create your own custom grain within Procreate 5 itself. I hope you're as excited about this as I am, because I don't know if you can hear from my voice, but I'm just like so excited to start painting with this brush and make something. I'm Mikko, and this is a channel about painting, Procreate, and creativity. And if you like that stuff, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!